Hi there! Today I'm Lizardino and we're gonna turn Monster Hunter into Pokémons. Is what I would say if I began recording before February 27th. Why did I U-turn on that simple but effective plan? Pokémon Day happened! And they announced a bunch of stuff in there. Is my accurate opinion of it. Balek. Oh, dommage que c'est un gacha. Balek. J'aurais bien aimé que ce soit pas bloqué vers un paywall. Encore. Balek. Ah tiens, je savais pas que ton jour mystère commençait comme ça. Ah. Le dessert. Et oui. Pokémon Winds and Waves is finally canon. And I'm actually glad it will come out by the end of 27 instead of 26. It's been a while since I bought a mainline Pokemon game because I believe the whole license didn't get me since the 7th one. We might need one to break that streak, but I'll remain cautious in case it turns out like Scarlet and Violet with that bouquet of immersion-breaking bugs. In the meantime, I'll take a stab at giving my own prediction of how Angry Bird, Toby Fox, and Baby Argonian Maid will evolve into. So strap on! Pick your favorite tourist Pikachu, and let's take a plane from Provence to Southeast Asia. Right off the bat, I saw a potential theme centered around energy sources as a whole. Something that was partially supported by each starter's Pokédex entries. Using this, along with the claim Wiwa is based on Southeast Asia, we're gonna bring out evolution that reflect those. Starting off with Pombon, everyone's favorite, who made the miracle of meeting hearts of those who never picked fire types in the first place. In my case, Pombon is gonna be associated with fossil fuels, because fire is often used to burn off those specific energies. Combustion-based engine, oil pumps, and all that fossil fuel jazz. All to lead Pombon's line into a fire poison type and a jaded guardian dog. Right? En fait, no. I took a more unorthodox route by focusing on charcoal, and now it's actually found within caves, certifying the ground type instead. One could make the argument that oil is found beneath the earth and can work for ground type, but it's totally understandable it would be better off with poison type, considering the damage done by oil leaks.
Barrel, the furnace dog Pokemon. It burrows deep into the earth to eat nearby charcoal and keep its furnace like exactly active, allowing it to handle colder climates. Despite its compensating for the overwhelming heat and thickness of isolating fur, its Pokemon is not in constant discomfort and resist to show is in great shape.
He looks rounder than a Snorlax, but this Cha-Chow looking guy will gladly be your furnace in the midst of a tundra. And yes, I lifted Pombon's evolution to be bipedal, much to the Finesam's shock. But in return, I get to boast some of the research I've done towards Southeast Asia beyond just searching through Wikipedia. Enough to actually deviate from Barong and food arts without making it into firefighting. I'm old enough to have seen the triple firefighting starters myself, so the trauma runs deep. Like I previously mentioned, oil can also be found beneath the earth, and I had to integrate that in order to get the fossil fuel message across. Thing is, I kept the charcoal part because all those fossil fuels must be mine. Your fat boy needs a solid pickaxe to get that sweet coal. It's very nice to smell that sweet iron, and especially some light because you can see shit in caves. Like nothing at all. And if you're not careful enough, you bump into the jolly Buto Ijo right before you found your first diamond.
Enjoy! The combustion Pokemon Pokemon. This jolly Pokemon guards troves of charcoal and oil-wheeling cave, where it can shut down its mud-like belly furnace for sustenance. It's not recommended to leave it in mud pools and deep seas, because he simply cannot swim, even if his trainer teaches him.
If you live in Southeast Asia, you're currently squirting a Mac direction because the Japanese green carrot was not in your bingo list or starter prediction. Don't worry, I read the tale of Timus months myself. The chase showed that Bito Ijo can shake off a cucumber vine and an entire bamboo forest, but barely made it out of the sea before he was ultimately throttled by boiling mud. Sounds like a fire tap to me, huh? This is what I meant by taking an unorthodox route. I still took inspiration for Baron, but I tweaked it with bonus idea one wouldn't think at first glance. No, this is still a part of me that I still wish Toby Fox wouldn't go to the gym. But deep down, we all know it's not gonna stay on all fours. And if he does stick to the floor by the official final evil, je mange mon chapeau. Continuing with the energy source theme, we get to Gecqua, who's gonna represent water. What a twist! Ok, c'est la merde ce que je viens de dire, oubliez la ref à point diète. One does not create electricity by simply getting water. Instead, people use the power of river currents to put contraption around it that will generate said energy for the speed. One such use are dams, where energy is created from the height difference. Falling water are called waterfalls, and make tons of cloud-like foam because they continue their course as rivers. Rivers are where you can find silphin lizard, which are found in Indonesia and the Philippines. Who's to say Gecqua zebras can use their silphin tail to camouflage amongst waterfalls?
Fall Gym, the Silphin Pokemon. It climbs the rock cliff hidden by waterfalls and wags its tail and ponytail around to masquerade as foam. In older times, lookouts would warn of this Pokemon mesmerizing dance, as they often end up with using something from the encounter.
It's no use hiding the Naga inspiration there. I had to make something out of Gecqua's tail, because it will definitely hold importance down the line. And while I'm not the first to have Gecqua's evil stand on its tails, I didn't see someone else take for Silphin Lizard as I'm recording these videos, nor the genie aspect for that matter. Then again, there's the big population of Muslim people around Southeast Asia, and Jenna from a Muslim culture, so check out. With everything I told you in mind, do you think Water Psyche will fit the final evolution? And to be honest, it was genuinely tempting. Nagas live underwater, can have magic powers on par with Jin, and are generally depicted as neutral beings. But then, I remembered how both magic civilizations hide in plain sight, or near netherworlds, according to most myths. And who also does all of this? Witches, of course. And Southeast Asia are no exception, and have their own evil secret cabal of dark practitioners hailing for West Sumatra.
Lilisic, the water lungs Pokemon. The external water sacs on its chest lets its called water construct out of thin air, or simply remain online for longer periods. It waits for its prey to approach a river to choke it with its tongue and suck all of its life force until there are only bones left.
Once again, I have the glares of Indonesia because hearing about the Parasic was also not in the starter bingo list. For those who don't know what this is, pictured is as a flying beheaded human hand with a long ass tongue and its lung plus digestive system dangling around right below it. Legends say this thing is a curse passed down through dark magic practitioners as they gather around to have baby sacrifices, because why the fuck not? Since the exact description wouldn't fit Pokemon's art Bible, I had to create a pair of water lungs and swirling motif from the chest to the tail to mimic a ballistic gut-wrenching body. Thankfully, the Draco Lizard for the Philippines came in clutch to turn the cloud-like mane into a mix of wings and hair. Browt is my favorite 10th gen starters, and nobody can convince me otherwise. If anyone dares to scrape my little bean sparrow, I will send everyone to the guillotine, and then myself. And to cement why he's the best, Browt gets to inherit the power of green energy. Okay, let's drop the act and let me clarify what I'm going for. See, Browt's entry says he gets its power from photosynthesis. The closest renewable energy to that is solar energy, which is done through solar panels. Browt's talent exactly lacks wind turbines, which is another renewable energy, who uses wind energy instead. See that pattern there? Now turn it into one of those plastic chicken toys with a wide mouth for the middle stage of coolness, and clip its wing until it looks like the mythological bird we're trying to mimic.
Vortruck, the featherless Pokemon. Idea about the bird's Pokemon, it plucks feather-like branches onto his arms, and fruitlessly tries to fly away before it flows back into the ground. These feisty Pokemon will fight others over sunlit spots and highest trees to regain its vigor through photosynthesis.
And nope, I use sympathy for that one. Fun fact, my initial idea was from Jatayu instead, and the Voltru form came from that one painting I found on Jatayu's Malay article on Wikipedia. But I polished my idea's bright line, sympathy was better suited for the ordeal. Both birds had lost their wings, but they happened at very different times. Jatayu lost them in his fight against Ravana and died from it, while Sympathy had his birth in order to protect Jatayu from the sun, but survived the ordeal, albeit flightless. I can see Voltron taking 3 branches for photosynthesis, only to ditch them the moment they suddenly set ablaze from using solar beams. But thankfully, those wings will properly grow back, like Sympathy did from helping Rama. Except it will be bestowed by the power of the sun, and turned the electric type after an entire life dedicated for photosynthesis. Now equipped with solar panel-like leaf feathers, it won't use them for flight, but we need those when it can blind its false eyes with sun rays before crushing on them and burn their wings. One doesn't need to turn Browt into a cassowary to turn it into a great fighter.
Sandbolt, the Thunder Raptor Pokemon. An ambitious Pokemon who runs through channels before climbing trees at max speed and strike down anything in air like lightning. Its electricity claws you as a result of its hybrid diet of meat and palm trees and leaves, and can even change given the right circumstances.
Here's the Gyarados-esque final level you've all been waiting for. One who got green electricity over the grass fighting type. Just because a starter has a semi-humanoid shape as the final evil doesn't automatically mean fighting type. Pretty sure Game Freak will run for the triple fighter fighting cry, and hopefully the many problems spotted during the Switch era. Especially Scarlet and Violet, because those soft locking glitches may be funny to someone, but another would destroy the Switch over it. And yes, I kept the diamond-shaped caterpillar eyebrows up until the end, because that's half the reason of picking Browt, for a reason only one person knows, because I kept yelling it during his Pokemon Day stream. voila! Here's my startup prediction for Pokemon's Winds and Waves a month later. I know. Hope you like my unorthodox French cooking, despite straying from the other prediction. Remember that none of us will match the official ones by November 27th, or whatever weeks we'll make it out of the internet before that. You know the drill by now. You can do the usual dance of likes, subscribe and join my Discord to never sight of anything I do. Thank you for watching this impromptu video on Gecqua. I'll see you next time. Ciao tout le monde!
No one's stopping me. Let's do it on stream. How dare you diss my caterpillar eyebrow sparrow?